Coming at you guys once again from the NFL Combine here in Indy. I am Tom Downey. Coming up on today's show, we'll of course talk Combine stuff, some meetings. We'll sit down briefly with Dane Brugler of The Athletic as well to talk Cowboys Draft, go through Haason Reddick trade rumors, and some offensive line meetings for the Cowboys led by Tyron Smith, or at least his agent. Now, if you've enjoyed our Cowboys Combine coverage here so far, then show it. Like today's video, right now we'll be here for a few more days breaking down all things Cowboys, so please like the video for me right now. Let's begin with the Haason Reddick trade rumors for the Cowboys. Mike Fisher of Sports Illustrated reporting the Cowboys are interested in trading for Haason Reddick, which certainly would be a strong addition to a pass rushing unit that could use some more juice with players like Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler set to be free agents. Reddick was highly productive in all of his previous stops, whether it was Philadelphia, whether it was Arizona, whether it was Carolina. Everywhere Reddick has gone, he has been an impactful piece. And, no surprise, he is looking to get paid like the impactful piece he believes that he is. But you're talking double-digit sacks each of the past 4 seasons. He is not the same caliber of player as Myles Garrett, Bosa, Micah Parsons, etc., but if you're ranking your top 10 edges, he's probably going to be at least on the back end of that conversation. And it'd be a big addition for a player or for a team that'd be hurting a rival in theory, which is its own different problems there. But you would, in theory, replace Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong with Haason Reddick. Their contracts combined could be similar, probably a little bit less than what Reddick, I think, will end up getting. But if you can add a premier pass rusher to go along with Mike Zimmer's defense, to pair with Tank Lawrence, to pair with Micah Parsons, that's really intriguing and really dynamic. Of course, there are some very real issues with the feasibility and realisticness, that's a word, of getting Reddick from Philadelphia. We'll discuss those here momentarily, but first it is prediction time. Do you think the Cowboys will trade for Haason Reddick from Philadelphia? Y for yes, N for no. It is the pinned comment on today's video. You should know what that means by now. Ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. I would not get your hopes up. I would not expect Reddick to end up as a Cowboy unless he gets cut, which I'd be a little surprised by. It makes more financial sense for Philly to do that, but you're trying to get a decent draft pick back, so that's probably not going to happen either. The money is the real problem here. Short term, Reddick makes $16 million. You still have a few more days, basically 2 weeks, to get under the cap. They'll be able to do that pretty easily. It's not about the short-term money. It's about the long-term money. Reddick correctly, justifiably, understandably wants a new, bigger contract. How can you blame him? He's a really good pass rusher. He wants some more stability. He's kind of gotten, I thought, fairly team-friendly deals the past few seasons. He wants to get paid. I do not blame him. A decision I actually think could be made fairly soon for Philadelphia. He has a $1 million roster bonus due right as the new league year starts on 3/15. If you were going to trade or at least cut him, you were going to try to do that before then. Now, maybe you hold on for the trade partner. You eat the extra $1 million to get a draft pick back. That's probably worth doing there. But we might have some more clarity on Reddick in the not-too-distant future. But unless it's a surprise cut, I would not anticipate him being released by the Eagles. He's obviously been granted trade permission, or permission to seek a trade, I should say. Maybe Jacksonville makes some more sense for Reddick than a team like the Dallas Cowboys do. Now, today's show is made possible by Game Time. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and, of course, their best price guarantee. Game Time, to put it simply, takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. You can buy tickets in seconds with just 2 taps, and they've got deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. So if you're trying to go last minute to get some tickets, Game Time is absolutely the way to go, whether it is for some NBA games, some NHL games, or some MLB games finally just around the corner. Game Time has you covered. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CowboysChat for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms do apply, but create your account and redeem code CowboysChat. That's COWBOYSCHAT for $20 off. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Let's talk offensive line here then for the Dallas Cowboys. Two players, their agents at least, are meeting with the Cowboys at some point today/tonight. Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz, both their reps set to meet with the Cowboys after they won't be meeting with Dak Prescott's and CeeDee Lamb's and Micah Parsons agencies, which are interesting to say the least. Let's talk Tyron Smith here. It would be ideal, I think, if you could find a way to bring him back, ideally on incentive-based 1, maybe 2-year contract. I don't think you want to overcommit and pay him a bunch of big, fat, guaranteed money. Somebody might, but I think you were lucky to get the 900-plus snaps you got last year out of Tyron Smith. I think if you get that number again, you're probably over the moon, frankly. I think they might have figured out something with that practice plan, but the body has failed so many times previously, you have to assume it's going to again. Meanwhile, Tyler Biadasz also will meet with his reps. Neither guy's going to get franchise tag, by the way. I wonder how much Biadasz could get on the open market. I would love to find an upgrade at center this offseason. Sometimes easier said than done. I think that would have to come through the draft, but you could also put yourself in a dangerous spot if you don't re-sign one of those guys. The markets for the replacements are going to be just as expensive, maybe more so, or they're going to be worse, and then it kind of becomes what's the point of doing that? If you lose those guys, you have no viable option right now at left tackle. You could put Tyron Smith out there. I don't know if they want to do that. Is Austin Richards going to be a piece? Matt Waletzko? I don't know about that one there. Center, I think they like Brock Hoffman. I would rather have him be my backup. I don't know if I want to make him my starter this year, but maybe the team could talk themselves into that. Although they did the exact same thing with Matt Farniok this time last year, said, oh, he can be our 6th best lineman. We really like him. And he was so bad in camp in the preseason, he got cut and didn't even make the practice squad, by the way. That's kind of a red flag. So of these two, if you could only pick one to re-sign, who would it be? TS for Tyron Smith or TB for Tyler Biadasz? All right, coming up next, folks, we'll cut to our interview from previously with The Athletic's Dane Brugler. Quick little conversation on some Cowboys draft plans.
I'd like, this is what we're talking about with Graham Barton and offensive line. I think that's a possibility there. I think pass rushers in play, depending on how they want to do with Micah Parsons and all that. Corner is definitely in play. Obviously, Diggs coming back, but Duran Bland, you feel good about him, moving forward, but still, you need more help at corner. So, it'll be interesting with him, with one of these corners, where to fall Wiggins, or I don't think Quinyon Mitchell falls that far. Do they feel good about Kool-Aid McKinstry? How do they feel about Cooper DeJean? Pass rusher, corner, offensive line feels like the most likely for the Cowboys there.
Some great stuff there from Dane. We had an entire interview with him on the Chat Sports YouTube channel. Absolutely worth checking out right there. Obviously, great insight from the Athletics' main draft coverage guy there. Let's move to some Cowboys Combine meeting updates. The ones from yesterday that we did not get to because we focused on other more non-draft related stuff. Some corners this organization has met with. These are all formal meetings. Those are the ones that matter. Nate Wiggins, who, by the way, checked in super light with short arms. That might be an issue for this team. TJ Tampa, I think, has the size this Cowboys organization likes. I think Zimmer's going to like to. Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest. Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. Wiggins, probably a first-round guy. Tampa, Carson, Lassiter could be there on day 2. So don't rule out cornerback early. Obviously, Dane mentioned that position as well. If the right guy falls to them, and I think we'll know more as the 30 visits get going. Obviously, Mike Zimmer's not here at the Combine, so more of an offensive slant with some of these meetings. More on that in a little bit. I think corner is a spot you could certainly consider. Of note, no formal meetings that we know of with the tight ends or the safeties. Cowboys have bodies at safety, and they don't need a tight end. So I don't see a ton of value in formal meetings with the tight ends there, nor with the safeties. To me, that's not a huge surprise. And if you take a tight end early, I don't know what this team is doing. I'll burn something to the ground if they do. All right, wide receivers. This group really stands out. Both Texas kids, Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, obviously very different players and sizes and body types right there. Can't wait to see how they both run, by the way. Same with Brian Thomas Jr. I think their hope would be maybe Worthy or Mitchell gets to him in the second. I might be pushing it a little bit. Although we said the same things about guys like George Pickens, and it almost happened. Brian Thomas would be a potential first-round pick. I am uncertain he's going to be there in round 1 because he's a height, weight, speed freak. Other receivers, Javon Baker out of Central Florida. the speedy Troy Franklin out of Oregon, Florida State receiver Keon Coleman, Washington wide receiver Jalen McMillan. By the way, did not know this, learned it today. Keon Coleman is cousins with CeeDee Lamb. We'll have that, his clip on talking about when and playing with Lamb as a short later today, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Had no idea on that front. Coleman's a round one guy, or at least take him the round one. Probably same with Troy Franklin. McMillan and Baker are day 2 guys. That's 7 receivers they've met with formally here with Robert Prince in attendance, by the way, to meet with these guys. Clearly open to a wide receiver early. I think not always the individual players. When you have a trend of like we met with certain types of players or met with a big group of them, that's a sign to me it's probably going to happen. I think if they can get the right guy, even in round 1 or on day 2, I think they consider a receiver. Also, best of luck to Michael Gallup. It's just not going to happen. I don't think he's going to be back. I know he met with the team, met with his agents, and no decision was made. He's not going to come back. I'd be pretty blown away if they didn't release him, post June 1st, start of the new league year, somewhere in that range. This doesn't make sense for this team. So who do you want the Dallas Cowboys to draft? Whether round 1, round 2, whatever. Sound off for me in the comment section of today's videos. We'll wrap up here with the running backs that we know of. I will make note, several backs were delayed today from interviews, so we didn't get the chance to talk with everybody. Trey Benson out of Florida State, Audric Estime out of Notre Dame, Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, and Ray Davis out of Kentucky. 3 guys that you think Benson, Estime, and Allen going to go day 2. Maybe one falls early, day 3. Davis, I think, would be a day 3 pick as well. One trend with all 4 of these guys. These are bigger backs. Allen is a big guy. Davis is a big guy. Estime is a big guy. Benson's a pretty good sized dude as well. Clear trend. They want to find a bigger back in the draft, and I think they will.